Hey guys, I'm here to talk about attitude and mental state of mind and how we kind of all have problems throughout life, trials, obstacles, or whatever, and how we kind of just think about stuff and deal with stuff, because we all do it differently and we all have these problems. Some problems are different from others, obviously, and some people are in different situations, so all of these have changing factors or whatever. So anyway, to start off, this is something that happened to me. It came to me yesterday. I was just having a really rough day from over the weekend, and what happened was I was home this past weekend, so just 2 days ago, and I stayed way later than I wanted to. So I leave really late, and I'm driving through Jersey. I at least make it this far, and it's 12 or close to 1 in the morning, and I'm just falling asleep. And it happens a lot because I've only been driving for 4 years, but I drive a lot. I drive a ton ever since I just started driving, ever since I got my car. I was in Utah at the time when I got it, and immediately drove home back to Pennsylvania. So that was give or take 40 some hours. This is back in 2010, so May actually 2010, sometime around there. So I've been driving a lot. I had a long distance relationship over in Kentucky, the tri-state area, so I would drive massive amounts of hours back and forth between there. I've driven to Chicago and across some other states. I visited friends, I visited family, and now I'm in New York, and I should feel pampered that this is a 4-hour drive back and forth, give or take. Sometimes, depending on traffic, it can be worse. But no, I don't like driving as much anymore, and I get very tired behind the wheel very easily. It's the car seat is my bed. So anyway, I stop at a rest stop in Jersey, and I sleep, because if you're tired behind the wheel, don't drive too long. Sometimes I do it. I try and press my luck, and everything has been good so far. Obviously, I'm not dead or anything, but it's still yeah, risky, and it's not very fun. So I sleep at this rest stop longer than I wanted to, and I finally gather the energy to just continue driving again, because I just want to sleep in my car. But I have work. It's Monday morning. It's 2 o'clock, and I keep driving, and I make it home 4 o'clock in the morning, and I have work at I have to be up by 5:30. So I sleep for an hour, get as much as I can, and then I get up and I drive to my work location, which is upstate. I've been doing work at a school district upstate New York in a place called Putnam Valley. So I'm there, and I'm tired from the drive. Now I have to work 8 hours. So my work shift is over. I drive back home, and while I'm home, I find parking right in front of my apartment, which is awesome. So I turn my car off, and I try and lock my door, and I notice my door has an electronic lock switch. You know, you turn it down, your door's locked, whatever, all of them, and nothing happens. So it's a power issue. So it's usually something related with your battery. If it's power, lights, starting your car, obviously, stuff like that. So I'm huh, that's weird. So I look under the hood, and it's heavily corroded. It gets like that sometimes. I've seen it before. It's just the corrosion that gets on my battery is blue, powdery stuff. It's probably the same thing for everybody. Somewhere along the lines, most people knows what corrosion is. So like I clean off the terminals, and my positive terminal block is just like completely destroyed. It broke off when I took it off, and the cables, like the actual power cables, the cables that need to be touching the terminal, all these connections, they're heavily corroded, and a piece snapped off the connector. So like the cables are kind of spaced from the terminal, so it's just like loose cable, but it's not, because it's still in the cap too. So I have to like remove the cap. I have to strip the wire coating, and like I have to clean off the wires, which is kind of a skill that I've learned here, like doing the job that I do, because I know a little bit about like wiring stuff up now and how that works. So at this point I'm trying to stay calm and cool, and just like thinking of a solution, because like we have a big project upstate. We have to get this done this month, so my car is needed. I call AutoZone. I've been there a lot because I've been having a lot of car issues with, work vehicles and stuff like that, and they've been pretty helpful. AutoZone's a pretty good store. So I think about what I need, because I kind of have a general idea. I even look up like helpful things online or whatever, to actually try and like pinpoint what this actual problem is. I love like figuring out stuff on my own, and my like natural instinct anymore is to like go online and like go to forums or whatever and like figure out these problems. So I'm not that special. I don't think I'm the first one to ever have a problem for the first time. So someone's had this problem or this issue before me. So it's 9 times out of 10 you can figure stuff out on your own if you want to. So it's getting late in the day. It's like 6 o'clock, and I have all the information I need to like try and take care of this issue, and I'm just so tired. It's getting late. I just worked. I just want to relax. So I have to go to AutoZone in Brooklyn, somewhere in Brooklyn, not too far, but so I'm taking the train, and that's when I'm just standing there, and I just have a lot of time to think about stuff. And some people are like, oh God, why do you hate me? And like some people might get mad or complain, like I am, because I have a lot to complain about. I don't know, I'm just standing there waiting for the train, and I don't know, my whole perspective on this situation changes somehow. I realize that things could be a lot worse. I mean, I'm super tired, but I'm alive. I made the long trek back home, worked my full shift, made it back home to Queens, and yeah, this problem happened, but like, I was able to park my car and turn it off, and now I'm stuck, but I'm home. I'm not broke down in the middle of the road or somewhere. So I just start thinking about all these positives, and then like, I guess the moral of this whole story is, when you change your perspective on things, because I'm trying to take care of this problem right now. Like, I'm heading to a car place, AutoZone, and like I'm gonna buy these parts or whatever, and I'm gonna try and like fix this problem myself, because like through the times that I've been living here and doing the job that I do, I learned a little bit about like electrician work, like wiring, cabling, stuff like that, and I know how power works to a degree. And like, it's crazy to me that like I've only been here for like less than 2 years, and like I didn't even know how to check my oil with like the dipstick or whatever. And now like I've come across so many problems with like tires and like oil changes and battery problems and all these other things going on with, you know, different vehicles that I've been in, that I'm actually like learning stuff. Like I actually know stuff that I didn't know. And it's like a huge jump for me because it's not like little things, it's like kind of big things too. So it's like really interesting. So I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, wow, this is actually, you know, a positive. This is, you know, if you change the way you think about stuff, you know, you make yourself feel better. You boost yourself up from kind of a depressed state. So I'm walking through Brooklyn and I find the AutoZone. And before I do, like, I walk past this guy. He was just sitting there, and I wouldn't say he's homeless. Like, there's homeless people all over New York. I don't know, it's really like depressing to see, especially for me, because I like helping people. And you know, some people are fraudulent and some people are like legit, like need help. So like it's a iffy situation, and it's just like terrible to see. You know, nobody wants to see that. But the guy asked for some change, and you know, I want to help him out. So I didn't like check to see if I had anything on me at the time. So I look in my wallet and I don't have any singles. I just have a whole 5. And I'm like, oh man, I don't really want to give him this 5 because like I'm feeling pretty broke too. I have a lot of things I have to take care of. But you know, I'm well off. You know, I have car issues. You know, so I'm driving. You know, so. You know, amongst other things that I have, you know, a place to sleep, stuff like that. So I'm like well off compared to this guy. And I don't even think he's homeless. Like, this guy was asking for some change, maybe to get home. Like, maybe he needed some money for the bus or whatever. I don't know what his situation was. Everybody's situation is different. So I'm like, you know what, dude, you need this more than I do. Give him the 5. You know, he was very appreciative. You know, I shook his hand or whatever, and I was on my way. So that made me feel a little bit better, because I do like helping people whenever I can. So, you know, that boosted me up a little bit. So I get to AutoZone, and I do what I have to do. Then I leave, and so I'm leaving back to the train, and this is like 20 minutes or so to a half hour later. And I see the same guy, and you know, he comes up and he shakes my hand. You know, he's very appreciative. He's like, you know, thank you, man. Like, that pizza I had was just like really good or whatever. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Thank you. Thank you for giving me a chance to like help you, because turning your day around helps me turn my day around. Because, you know, it hasn't been a good day for me. And, you know, he doesn't know what my day's like, but, you know, I know what my day's like, and it wasn't the best. So, like, you know, doing something that makes me feel good, like, kind of, like, boosts that, you know, trying to think positive, you know, trying to change my situation and my mental state around a little bit. So I'm just like, dude, thank you. So I get back home, and, you know, I'm messing with my car, and it's like 7:30, and it's getting really late. And I'm working on the car, and I do what I need to do. I strip back the cables, I take the cap off, I clean the corrosion around the battery, I put the new universal terminal on, I fit the cables into a new copper piece, and like kind of connect everything together. And in doing so, like, the car actually like has juice, like the battery has juice. Before, you know, when I turned the key, nothing would happen. It wouldn't even click or anything. No lights showing, no nothing. So the battery actually has juice, so I'm actually getting somewhere. And this is, you know, work that I'm doing on my own. So that happens, but nothing. It doesn't turn on or anything. So I'm like, oh man, like there's no way this battery is dead right now. So I need to jump. So I need to jump from somebody. So I'm outside for like an hour, like seriously like an hour, just like trying to get, you know, someone to like notice, you know, that, you know, I needed help or jump. I've even walked up to a few people who I noticed were going to their vehicles on my street and, asked them for help, and, they weren't able to help me for whatever reason or another, which is fine. I try not to think too negatively about people, just like, oh man, like, it's whatever, if, what does that get you? That doesn't get me anywhere. Just like keep it moving, try and find a solution. So no one wasn't able to help me, which sucked, but it's whatever. I ended up calling a cab service and had a cabbie come out, and he charged me like $12 to give me a jump. So I'm out there and I'm waiting like good 15-20 minutes, and I turn the car off. The battery doesn't actually stay on when your car is on. It starts up and everything, but then your car does the rest, the alternator, the starter, or whatever, and it charges your battery. So that's why I'm keeping it on. And I turn it off and I try and turn it back on and it doesn't turn on. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And so this guy's gone. Not to mention, I don't want to pay more money for this. So I call it a night. I felt good, and then I just went back to kind of like feeling defeated again. I wake up, I do my thing, I have to get ready for work, and I call on the same cab service to come give me a jump. It's like 6 in the morning. So, unfortunately, I have to shell out another $12. But I did what I had to do. So at work, I end up going to an AutoZone somewhere upstate. It's like 15 minutes away from my work site. And they were able to help me out, I was looking actually to just replace my battery. At this point in time, I know, like, my battery may be dead. So I'm looking to get a new battery, and, they change it out for me. I still have, my terminal stuff that I did is good. So I get a new battery, and, like, the guy notices other problems that I had with my car, because my car is like lit up on the inside like a Christmas tree. Like, I have my engine light on, my maintenance light on, but the maintenance light is like a small issue. It's simple oil change, so whenever I get around to paying to have that done. But like, I'm driving without my car being newly inspected, so I have all these problems, and I have to shell out all this money to like fix my car up, because if I don't, it's not going to pass an inspection. So I haven't been able to get it inspected. So the check engine light is like a super big one for me, because the last checkup I got on it was a diagnostic from like Pep Boys or whatever, and these guys, man, these guys are crooks. Like, I went to this Pep Boys in Queens, man. They were terrible. They all looked crooked, man. That place was mad shady. I waited so long. Me and Tara were there for like hours, and it was just a horrible experience. And then when I left, like, well, first of all, they told me I needed a part to fix it. It was like $900. I'm like, dude, I'm not paying that. So they charged me $50 for their diagnostic, in which case AutoZone does diagnostics for you for free. It's crazy. So I leave, and like, so I have a new problem comes up like later. Like, I have like a rattling in my car, and so like, I'm pretty sure they did something to it. So this was back then. So now I'm getting my battery changed, and this guy noticed a piece is like disconnected from the engine, and that's actually what the problem was. And so he puts it back, rattling stops when I drive, and the check engine light isn't even on anymore. So I only have to take care of the maintenance light, which is an oil change, so I can get that done back home at like a Lube or something for like 30 some bucks. I hear it's even cheaper in New York to get it done, like 20 some bucks. Maybe it's because there's more people, more places to do it, more competition, so lower prices or whatever. Actually, buying cars here is cheaper as well, which I didn't think was the case compared to back home. But you know, some stuff in New York is cheaper. All in all, everything works out. I'm happy. Got a new battery. Car works fine now. Starts up when I want it to. It's connected to the terminal that I did, so I'm like proud of my work, which is like really simple. Like a mechanic could do it or whatever, but you know, it's good for me because I'm not a mechanic. I'm not an auto mechanic or anything. So you know, the stuff that I do that works for me is like, you know, big, because you know, oh man, that's cool. Like I'm learning a lot about stuff, so it's really interesting to like expand on yourself. So I'm thankful for the Creator getting me through, you know, a stressful situation. And I know not everyone is religious or whatever, so however you want to deal with problems, deal with it your own way. Just like have confidence in yourself, have faith in yourself, and deal with the problem however you want to do it. Like I'm spiritual, I'm a spiritual person, so I thank the Creator. You know, I can't just like, I'm not one of those people who pray for like everything to be okay, and like if I pray for this battery to work or something like that, like, oh, I want this battery to work or whatever, like God will make it happen or whatever. No, that's not how it works. So like, you know, I pray for like guidance and knowledge, and like that's stuff I ask for, because God works through me. The Creator works through me. So like that's where my blessings come from, like, and that's what I'm grateful for, because like, you know, through the grace and mercy of the Creator, like I was able to avoid a stressful situation. You know, I'm able to stay calm and cool, and just learn a bunch of things, because that's what life's about, and these are things that I believe in. And we have gifts, like we have special gifts, and you know, you can't pray for things to go your way, but what God gives us is like guidance and like the ability to take care of things ourselves. Like He gives us strength, and that's what you should be asking for. So I'm not going to get into that huge big thing, because that's not what this is about. But it's about like, you know, taking care of problems yourself, staying positive, staying strong no matter what situation you're in, and just like handling it to the best of your ability. And we all need help. Like it's alright to ask for help. So I mean, with that, I'm going to close out this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.
When the fighters are all around, all the lovers are underground, no one will save you anymore. So what's happening? What you rapping about, little boy? Is it cars? Is it girls? Is it money? The world? Or is it something they could never believe? Or is it something you could never achieve? Is it beyond your means? Is it inside your dreams? Can it never come out cause it's scared to, unprepared to worry about the words of the people it's weird to? You don't want them to hear you, you just wish it was a door that would appear that you can go disappear through. Well, I'm feeling your pain, I was feeling the same, but I said I'd never feel that again. When the fighters are all around.